Like, let's start with game four, because game three, as a kid, was gut wrenching for me. What the Kings did to us in game three in that 2002 series, I couldn't believe
Yeah.
what I was seeing with my eyes. So then I'm watching game four, and we're down 20 at the end of the
Yeah.
first quarter. I'm depressed. What is the mood of the Lakers at that time?
Well, it was obviously one of utter shock, considering, we had two of the most dominant forces on there, and we were getting beat pretty candidly, and they were handing it to us, like you said, by 20 by now by the first quarter. And shout out to Mike Bibby, who at that time was just electrifying and what he was able to do. And he was tearing the NBA up and giving us just nightmare matchups, game planning for him, and obviously having the two players around, having a supporting cast around him, and Del Christie, Weber, Divac, Stojakovic. I mean, man for man, they had a bench that could Scott Pollard off the bench. Yeah, Bobby Jackson. I mean, you think about it, man for man, they had some dogs on their team that could go and who understood basketball. They had a very unique team that was, I call a high IQ basketball team. And if you look at
Mhm.
their offense was very fluid and efficient. So it required a lot of movement, and it didn't allow for Shaq to just be able to stay and play midfield at all. They did. And Vladi, who knew how to pass, who knew how to do things, made it hard. No, he couldn't guard Shaq, but their whole idea was to make us move with ball movement, right? And they did an incredible job, doing that and made us uncomfortable. So that's something that we had to adjust to in real time. And then also, you got to imagine winning back-to-back championships. It's hard to win an NBA championship, then go back into win another one. Because that preparation and what you're seeing, like with OKC, how they came out guns blazing and then dropped off, that fatigue hit. So when you see teams win multiple championships, I know this era thinks it's real easy now, in this social media era, we talk about championships like they come like that, or they don't. So that the wear and tear it takes on your body to go late into June, then to kind of take a week off, get right back at it, you know, and then you're going to start out gun blazing again that next season, start early, like what Shea and them was doing coming out. That you got to hit a wall. And so you got to understand the Lakers at 1-2 have been back to back champions already. And there's a little fatigue there. You got Shaq, quite big man at 300 some odd pounds, going playing late into the season 2 years in a row. And those things create the adversity, you know, that you need to address. This is why Phil wasn't big on tour days. Shout out to Phil because we may have 1 or 2 days of tour days and they were never really intense. And so he believed in allowing guys to play their way up. This is why the Lakers, we would lose some games that we would drive people crazy. We might lose to Golden State, you know what I'm saying? Then beat the big teams, but then lose to the Wizards, somebody like that. It was just how the season went. Who, when a team understands how to win now, the coach has a tendency to give them little more leeway. Understand that they know how to flip that switch on. It's a dangerous approach, but you kind of got to give it to those guys when they show you that they can indeed do that. And that's what Shaq and Kobe and those guys was able to do. They allowed the system to just carry them, the triangle system to carry them because it was very efficient. When it was time to turn up, they turned up. It just happened to be that we were playing against a very formidable opponent in the Kings. And
Yeah.
it it took an incredible shot and some incredible plays to dig us out of that. That's to say that.
Yeah, and I want to rewind a little bit. Actually, one of the voiceovers I made, I think this is how you started following me, is when I made the voiceover about the halftime shot. Because to me,
Yeah.
that was the shot that nobody really talks about because we were chipping away in the second quarter. But until that thing got close to like single digits, it felt like the team was deflated. So you didn't get the shot off in time. Did you feel that
True
at the
story.
moment?
Nah, I didn't actually. I just got the pass from Rob, and first of all, I didn't think they was going. I thought Rob was going to shoot it, and Rob actually passed it, and shit, I'm getting mine off. So Uh, Not even
You
thinking
said you
about
could
it,
shoot.
man. I can shoot it now. Actually, the crazy part about it, if you go back and look at the technique in the form, like it wasn't just one of those things where I just thought it. No, I shot it. And I think that happened to me one more time in my career. I think I was with the Spurs. I want to say I'm 2 for 2 from three. And I think both of them happened though in a pressure situation. It wasn't like this to catch. But again, I was in my workouts, I shot the three ball, which is why my stock went up. I decided to become the player I decided to become in a more defensive realm, right? But
Mhm.
it was there. And I wasn't shocked that I made it. That's why when I walked off, if you look at the thing, I walked off like it didn't mean nothing because number one, I was still deflated because of we were getting our ass kicked, excuse my language, we were getting our butt kicked. And then on top of it, you know, I thought the writing was on the wall.
The second half was night and day. Obviously,
Yeah.
it still came down to a shot that it was funny. I feel like Shaq got nervous when he caught the ball. Kobe was ready, but he obviously missed a shot. Shaq caught the offensive rebound. He rushed that thing. He did not want no part of that ball. Robert Horry, like you said,
Foul.
sometimes he might have just been standing out there because he was tired. But look what God do. He put the ball right in the perfect person's hands, and now we end up winning the game. But to take it back just really
Yeah.
quickly, what was the
But shout
halftime
out,
locker
Volley was
room?
scared too. Volley was scared too. That just throw that out there. He didn't want Shaq to get that ball. So he was the one who tipped it out there. Just throw that out there too.
Yeah, yeah, facts. He gave him an assist pretty much. But what was the halftime locker room like in game four, if you remember?
You know what? I just remember being quiet, man. Everybody, we didn't have these big, one for the Gibber hip hop parade or these big, these speeches. Kobe would reside himself into the one of the smaller rooms in the locker room and sometimes isolate himself. Um, that's what he did, and everybody had their own way of preparing themselves, right? They had been through it before, and it was one of those things where you didn't see a lot of pressure. You didn't see the players become flustered. They actually felt like we've been here before. That's what I got out of it. We've been here before. All right, let's go. And that's what you saw. These were guys who believed it. Talking about Kobe and Shaq, two guys who believed they were the best players in the NBA. And so to see them turn it on and to see the team come back the way it did, and then go back up in there in the game seven. Look, they had an opportunity to win it there. They choked. They missed some big key free throws down the line that could have
Yeah.
iced the game. So it was competitive all the way, man. Shout out to the Kings because they were deserved to be champions that year. It just happened to be we had Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, I feel
And
like game
Robert,
seven,
big
you
shot
seen the
Rob.
difference. I feel like game seven, you've seen the difference between a very extremely talented team in the Kings versus a focused Zen team in the Lakers, where it's like, oh, this team that shoots the lights out, they missed 13 free throws in game seven. They got tight. They even had a lead in overtime and still found a
Yes.
way to choke it away. So yeah, I guess last thing I'll ask you about that
Yes.
series, the game six, the everything that came out of game six with the theories and everything, like what is that to you? What does that mean to you? Was there anything like it? There's nothing real about it to me. I'm a Lakers fan, but what was that to you after they said that we cheated the Kings or whatever?
Look, man, nobody could have saw that coming, right? The shot I hit like that it was a momentum builder. No, I believe that you had so many people wanting to see the Lakers lose at that year, right? And the narrative was built around because of the way the shot happened. Like, look, you can't write that shot that Robert Ory hit. Robert Ory missed that shot, it's over,
Hmm.
right? Even my shot at halftime, like those was it was a that's a story. Like it felt like it was meant to be when you start seeing stuff like that happen. That was just bigger than the refs per se. Were there maybe some calls that were good or bad? I think if you really wanted to cherry pick that, you can look at both ways and find that, right? Because there are times where Shaq is so dominant, and because he's so dominant, they'll give them cheap fouls. Sometimes I see Shaq do this, somebody bumping him and it's foul, but do these refs do that? Do they have to learn how to manage the game on a consistent basis that maybe question when you're coaching elite teams and players like that? That's a that's a very difficult task. Um, by no means do I think I believe in what like they were cheating and what Donahue, I think was it Donahue that came out, the ref
Donaghy, Tim
that came
Donaghy.
out.
Yep, yep.
Donahue, look, is there corruption in all sports? I'm sure at some point in time there's possibly a little corruption. Uh, but I thought the NBA does an incredible job of weeding that out. Um, I give no credence to that whatsoever. That was a
Awesome.
hard fought series. Who, to your point, they should have won in Game 7, but
Yeah,
they
they
didn't.
panicked.
They
They
didn't want to.
panicked. And we
They
can
panicked.
wrap that series up. What I will say is, I believe two things people don't talk about. The game two, which the Lakers came out like gangbusters in game one. But if Kobe don't get a sick game two, we probably win game two. But I feel like game five, when Mike Bibby hit that game winner coming off the screen, first of all, I seen an offensive foul in the moving screen, and then I seen Bobby Jackson tugging Kobe jersey off. So it was all nip and tuck. You know what I mean?
That's what I said. I said if you really wanted to cherry pick and you go back and look and you really wanted to study the film, there's so many opportunities to call and not call and do things of that nature, man. And so
Yeah, this
uh,
way or that way.